everybody, we're back. It's Best Homely World. And yes, you can see Risaria has gone on. What has been your most fun moment?
I was thinking this, how much things have changed since that first global party call you did. And I've had so many fun moments. And today, well, just today, for instance, I found myself starting to think in a way of lack. And I thought, hang on, I want to turn this around. So I changed it. And I did a couple of meditations and focused on getting ready to come down here today because I'm down for a meeting in Warwick. And then there was a knock on the door, and it was the postman with this parcel of a beautiful rainbow-coloured wool blanket, a wool throw,
Wow.
from a Secret Santa, because the day before, someone had posted who would like to do a Secret Santa with their sisters. And I just said, yeah, this would be really great. So I said yes. And I got my first Secret Santa gift today, and it's so beautiful. I didn't bring it with me on my travels because it's quite mild here today. But I just knew that I had manifested that because I turned my energy around. Yeah. And just made that decision to, as I was saying before we came on air, I committed to, if I feel, if I've noticed that I'm thinking of worrying, I use laughter. I ho it away. And it's the same with if I start to feeling I'm not enough, or there's not enoughness, there's not enough around. Because I think sometimes I notice that with presents. Sometimes I think, oh, I haven't got enough for so-and-so. And then if I laugh it away, it just disappears because it doesn't matter. And we were saying that often on Christmas Day, within a couple of hours, you've forgotten what people have given you. Sometimes we have all these gifts and it's great when we open them, but within a few hours, sometimes you've forgotten what those presents are because we have such gifts. And that's why I like this idea of ho-ho-hoing your worry and your not enoughness away.
Yeah, well, the ho-ho-ho-ho, just... Just trying to get your mouth to ho 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 when you're really saying the word like ho 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 ho. You know.
Yes.
It's a different facial expression, and it changes whatever it is. Like just as I'm doing it now, it's like I've forgotten whatever we were talking about. I don't know what it is. It's a sense of, it's just something that is only spoken at this time of year.
Yeah, and that's why it's bringing it into our everyday life. And I realise how differently I'm working to when we did the first global party and in the summer, because then I'd written lots of things and was focusing, thinking, what will I do? And now I just trust the inspiration will come. And that's when I wrote the ho-ho shower song came to me, and it's literally just using any tune and just ho-ho-hoing to yourself, and even just saying it.
You can be like, ho, 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 all your worries go. It's just ho, 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 you're worthy of it. Oh, I don't know what the next, you have to find a rhyme of it all, but the word.
Yeah, you just started off, and it's singing itself. It's singing through you, and it's changing your energy. Yeah.
Yeah. This morning, I was out. My morning, your afternoon. We started the Christmas hampers for those that come to the it's funny because we call it the food bank, right? And I don't even know. I started to see this whole food redistribution thing differently. And so I stood outside. It was a little cold today here. It was -12, but I wanted to greet everybody, right? I wanted to greet everybody and let them know that they were blessed and, life was good. And it was interesting because the other volunteers that were inside, a lot of them were saying like, aren't you cold? Don't you want to come in? And I'm like, no, I'm having fun. Yes, my hands are ice cold.
Yeah.
But, you know, I started trying to keep some order in how letting people say you can stay in your car until your number's called, so we don't have this big lineup outside.
Yeah.
But there was a sense of joy that I was having. And I realized just as I was just being me, dealing with everybody, the anticipation that some of them were feeling over the other years of the stress related to how many people were coming and what it dissipated. And I think that's the beauty of the sense of joy, or when your laughter, it's like comedians, when it's good, clean comedy, good fun, that sense of ha, 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 laughing at yourself, laughing at the world, really just laughing, right?
Yeah.
Whether in the shower, it just opens up a whole new sense of possibility.
Yeah, and we were talking yesterday about making sure that whatever you're doing from a place of joy.
Yeah.
And I was saying this today because I hadn't been inspired to help out. Someone I know is doing meals on Boxing Day for the homeless, which is great, but I hadn't felt moved to that. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'd felt that helping by doing a Secret Santa, that for me felt really joyful, because I thought I'm savoring looking for a gift to send to someone that I've no idea who they are, that someone that I've never met before, and that just feels such fun. Yes. And it feels like the Christmas spirit. It's just giving just for the sake of it.
Exactly. And you are excited by it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And to me, that's what it's about, is just because whatever you're excited by, then you're contagious, right?
Yes.
You're contagious in a great way, because people see your delight and your excitement. And, the best way to describe it is, I think some people do things because they think they're supposed to do them.
Yes.
Right? Just like you said, it could have easily said, oh, maybe I should be helping at the food bank, or I should be doing the Boxing Day thing, right? Yeah. And they can allow themselves to think should all over themselves. But if you do it, whatever it is that brings you joy, you are really contributing to the greater good, because others feel your joy.
Yes.
It's such a big difference.
Yeah, there's a woman that I often see on the bus. She does a lot of walking along the coast. Mm-hmm. And I met her as I was going to the shops this week. And I was really excited because the sky was so blue and the clouds. I said, just look at that sky and look at the sea. Isn't it fantastic? And she just said to me, you're like a big kid. And I said, yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah.
It's finding the joy in things. And that's why, especially if I'm feeling stressed or anything, I go out and do something that feels good. Mm-hmm. Feels even better. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was saying my hands were so cold, right? And so my joy was, even because I started, my hands got cold before I put the mittens on. You know how then you can't put your mittens on because your hands are so cold, like your gloves. Yeah. So it was like, scrap it. So when I was shaking people's hands, they're like, your hands are so cold. And I'm like, yes, but yours are so warm.
Yes. You're appreciating the contrast.
I'm appreciating the contrast. And as I'm holding their hand, taking in all the warmth, I'm sending them a great blessing, and I'm transmitting the healing energy. And I'm just saying, okay, may you have a great new year. And they're like, really? But it was at the contrast, my hand was like, yes, I said, I'm really only shaking your hand.
To keep warm.
To keep my hand warm.
Yes, as we drove down today, the weather changed and became quite misty and foggy. Mm-hmm. But it was the landscape was really dramatic, and we're going, oh, doesn't it look fantastic? The silhouettes of the tree looking really mysterious, in the Yorkshire moors looking really they're looming out of the mist. And then we saw these cranes with fairy lights and a star on top, these big builders' cranes at the edge of the motorway.
Right.
And there's a type of digger. I don't know if you've heard of a firm called JCB. They're a make of digging machines in Britain, and they've become iconic, and so they create. They now have toys of them, and they had fairy lights around the shape of the JCBs, and it just feels so magical and fun.
Yeah.
You know, that the building construction workers are creating these fun things in fairy lights. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing is I find that I was actually the same thing. I don't know where I was talking about that, but the idea when people talk about companies or corporations or governments as separate entities, but they're all made up of people. And I find that people's hearts on ideas and inspiration are opening up in such beautiful ways, just like you're saying about them decorating, you know, the machines, and it's wonderful surprises in the middle of the places you least expect it.
Yes.
And that makes for that extra sense of awe. I mean, I'm envisioning my own thing of, as you're saying, the driving and the mist, just like you see in some of the movies, you know, and the haze, and then you see the sparkling lights, and yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because we don't have the vast distances between, you know, vast open spaces in England that you have in America or Canada. Oh, still definitely not Canada. But there's still those mysterious moments, and yeah.
Yeah. So explain, like, because you said you went down. Okay. So
yeah.
Explain to the viewers, right? Okay, so where London is, where Warwick is, and where home, like give them an idea of when you talk about that, how far are we talking? Are you talking like 700 kilometers? Are you talking you had to go 150? You know, did you go by train or drive? How?
We drove. Newcastle, South Shields is in the northeast of England. It's nearer to Scotland than anywhere else. And we're about halfway between there and London. Okay. And it's what, 200 miles? 220 miles from our hometown to here.
So that's like 300 kilometers.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But with the traffic and the weather, it took 4.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4.5 hours.
You must really love where you are with all those other beautiful women.
Yes. And Louise does this. She travels further because her southern group is in London. So she does this twice a month.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, when you were at the buskers, when you were busking.
Yes.
What now, do you have any, looking back, go, wow, that was a big highlight? I mean, Britain's Got Talent was a big highlight. You know, all these things that you ventured out as in first this year. Have you really acknowledged how far you've come?
Well, it's funny you should say this, because the doing the comedy, the things that have brought me most pleasure have been doing on here, and also doing the pub where I had my family there.
Okay.
And that's felt good. I felt more connected. Doing the busking is very challenging because you're doing it, you're very vulnerable, and you're talking to complete strangers or talking at them initially and trying to engage them. But so this has been, I realize this has been such a highlight for me, sort of engaging with this.
Right.
And also going to New York, and spending time with my daughter and her boyfriend. They have been the highlights of my year. Yeah. And it's the people connection I'm realizing rather than anything else. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, because I think personally, like, I felt it was just really courageous of you. Just like you said, you know, you had to be vulnerable in either situation to go out and to stand on the street corner. Like, I might stand on a street corner, but I'm usually handing out something, right? Like, hey, do you know, or where? But I'm certainly wouldn't be saying, hey, I'm singing I feel so fine.
Yes, I feel fine. And that was the song that got people going. That was the song that engaged people the most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I do think you probably need to have an official recording of that. You know,
Yes.
the short shower song CD, because
Yeah.
it's starting off your day, right? Like some people, the idea that they say you're supposed to meditate or do yoga or what, you know, all that. For some people, they wouldn't even think they have enough time, but they know they have enough time to jump in the shower.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And I do both.
Well, it is, I mean, I just feel that this fact that you are stepping out and sharing your joy and sharing this laughter and the connections of the songs, the experiences that you have, is a gift to every single person that is listening to us or that comes across us in years down the road that they discover this. Because the truth of the matter is when you can give yourself the gift of joy and to follow what you really brings you love, because you and I, as we were saying earlier, it's not like we're in our 20s, we're a little older. We've had many experiences, and I and you both feel like life is still opening up. And there's still...
This is the golden age.
Yes. So are there lots of gold bars in the golden age?
Oh, yes.
So you have to add that to ho, ho, ho. All the worry goes. Ho, 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 ho. Gold bars. You have to come up. What else rhymes with ho, ho, ho?
Ho,
ho, ho, ho. Go, go, go. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Let's have another day of ho, ho, ho. Laughing all the way. Ho, ho, ho. Let's ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho. Let's ho, 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 ho.
Hey, let's ho, ho, ho today. That's it. It's ho, ho, ho. So you're just going to be ho-hoing all year long?
Yes.
Because you know that you're always in a state of abundance.
Yes.
And everything is just manifesting in glorious, wonderful ways. And this is just an honor to share this journey with you. It really is.
Thank you. I really appreciate you doing all this because it's given me a really great focus and encouraged me to trust my inspiration.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer that everybody already has everything they need.
Yes.
Right? It's just allowing themselves to receive it and to have the courage to take action on it. And that is where you are an amazing role model because you're stepping out and doing it in your golden years.
And I'm just going to share with you, I did, after ho-ho-hoing this morning, I did a meditation. Mm-hmm. And what came to me, I don't often get images, but what I had a very strong image as the meditation ended of this snout, and then it opened out to be the eyes and the face of a hedgehog. Mm-hmm. Staring nose to nose with me. And I looked up the symbolism of a hedgehog, and it's about, as they're nocturnal animals, it's about second sight and intuition. That's the symbolism. And they're also resistant to attack because they are resistant to snake venom. So they're very resilient. And I feel that. I've never felt a need to protect myself. I feel I have an innate system that my body and my spirit know how to look after me. And the one thing I loved was the Greeks and the Romans regard the hedgehog as intelligent, and they'd observed them shaking grapes down from the grapevines, rolling over in them to spike them on their spikes, on their spines, and then carrying them away. They'd eat some, and then they'd carry the others away to eat later. And I just thought that's such a wonderful picture of abundance.
Now, I'm wondering, did they still have grapes stuck on their porcupine, like their pointy things too?
Yes, yes.
So they had it all like they... They had a great.
They go away with them on there, and then they have them later.
Wow. See, they don't even need to go shopping. It's right on top of them.
Yeah.
That's a great one. I would say that's pretty powerful. It's a good way to start off, being December solstice or Yule, or so, you're in the Northern Hemisphere like I am. So it's a time where we realize that, yes, this is now the light is just going to start to get brighter. And we were talking earlier with Beloved, and she was saying that Saturn is in Capricorn now.
Right.
Which means that it hasn't been there for 27 years. And it's all about now trusting your heart's desires, right? And really fulfilling that whole calling. So, I think some of us have been feeling that long before, in that sense of thing, but it's giving everybody that, conversation or permission to say, that's really what it's all about. Like, just come and experience your bliss.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I wish for you have a beautiful evening tonight and a very Merry Christmas and a start of a new year. And we will be back again in January and on Following Your Bliss.
Brilliant. I look forward to it.
Okay. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.